Dear Thầy, dear brothers and sisters, and dear Sangha, today is another day to come back to ourselves, and this is a new day. And there are some people that are from afar. Some people just arrived, and some had just registered a week ago. Or there are some people that have never really arrived. So today's topic is coming back home, coming back to the society that has a lot of different things, that obstacles that's happening, we are touched. So now you have to come back to ourselves because we've been pulled away many things out there, and we have not had a chance to rest. Do you have any time you think about you want to come back? And you're able to stop and question ourselves or listen to the words come back, to return. What kind of image that comes into your mind? So I invite you to come back to your silence inside of yourself. Come back to your heartbeat. So when you hear the word, the two words of coming back home or returning back, what images that come into your mind? So I invite you to come back to that part. We have a place to take refuge, or there's somebody that's there to wait for you to come home. Is there that person? And is there a moment that you really urge or want to come back to? Come back to your home, the home that's within yourself. Because we tend to run after many things. We're outside, we look outside of us. This is a question that each of us, I feel that we should ask ourselves this question each day. Because, with the society, there's a lot of things that, that we have the opportunity to go out there. Like there's Facebook, YouTube, the Instagram, what other things out there that really can pull you off or pollute you in your whole life. And TikTok, yes, that's correct, right? And what else? Is there anything else? Yeah. So just that is just enough that takes your whole life, your whole time in each day. And so you have a lot of these things out there that pulls you. Is there a place that you can return back home? And when you come back to where? It's come back to yourself too, so that you can know and be mindful what's going on in the present moment. There are times when life pulls you different things and you have like feelings that you cannot really have a chance to really dissect or take care of or have it transformed. Just for instance, when it's something is so quick, any like loneliness, anything that is like so inside of you through your loneliness, anything that is like bare or anything, any despair, any sadness that arises that within that day, you know that it's there in that one moment, and then you forget it and you keep on coming or you follow the life of what's going on in the society that pulls you. And like a long time ago too, everybody has a phone, like a rotary phone, and if you have a phone like that, they are rich. So that's very like, so when you look back, just a phone, the phone is like right there within the house, and those are rotary phone. It's not in your hand like the convenience of your cell phone right now. So I remember when I was young, I had a lot of like games that I played, and we don't have a phone with us. But back then, the phone is something, is something that actually to communicate each other. But now this phone right now in society is different. It's not like community. It sometimes makes you be far from each other. So I remember the closest time that you will sit with your mom and dad, your family within one, a table, or with your friends sitting together. And that moment, were you really present for each other, or is because now you have each person have their own phone and you just look at your phones? So right now, that phone is not a thing to take, or combine with each other or be closer to each other. It actually makes us more apart. I mean, having a phone is really good too. It's very convenient for many things. It helps us to, learn more about society. It brings a lot of knowledge for us. And whatever we need, we can chat GPT now or Google. It's like, oh, I want to know what is Plum Village. And once we submit that, it tells us everything about Plum Village. And whatever we need, whatever we have questions, or even we're sad or despair, we don't know what to do, we also ask Chat GPT. Is that kind of correct? It answers questions. Oh, because of this is Deer Park. What do you need? When you're upset, you come back to your breathe and you breathe deeply. Or you can go walk in meditation, or you can sit meditation. These are all things that they teach us. And then when we read it, we say, oh, yeah, that's correct. But in the other side, in reality, is it really true? Do you actually sit there and read it? Because that's not enough. One more step, you have to go outside of that. You have to try it. You have to practice it. And within Palm Village, that's what they say. If you're upset, then you need to go walk in meditation to dispute that, to all that, with all kind of things, like even like say conveniency with technology within life. It brings a lot of things, the convenience of it. And it helps us a lot to really help you within your life. But once in a while we forget. We don't have enough mindfulness, and then it lives for us. The technology pulls us away and we live like that, and we forget that life is in front of us right now, and it's very wonderful. It's very beautiful. Each day, if okay. She's asking if she speaks too fast for me to interpret, and I think it's good. And there are times like when you have a lot of news, and some of the news, that is happening right now. Like one of the news, like is in the that has been, broadcast or something, and there's some people comments like, oh, I like it, or I don't like it, they hate it, those kind of comments. And it's not that page, there's many pages of that in the internet. There's a lot of people criticizing or people for or against it, any kind of news or any kind of published articles. So right now, when we are there, it transforms us to a different person that we don't even know. So with that, in the present moment, right now in the society, those things of mindfulness is a bell of mindfulness for us. So to remind us like what that we are composed in ourselves, what are we consuming, what is it, and is it really helping us, helping our mind, our body, and soul? And these things that consume us, or what we consume over time, it is really reacting to what the society is telling us to, or the companies out there, or YouTubers trying to, whatever they have little clips so that you can see, and even 2-3 minutes. And I think the most is like 3 minutes for each, episode, and it will tell you what it wants, and you keep on looking at those articles and those things that consume us. And when it consumes us, it takes us to a different portion of life that we kind of forget what's going on, and you get pulled, and it's on the phone, and it really affects your life, your lifestyle. For instance, like within your family, you sit with your family and talk to each other, and then when in the surface it seems like okay, but about 2 or 3 sentences or a little bit later, we lose our patience with each other, and then we will whatever people say, we probably like the way we react to them is probably not as nice. And when that is like really close like that, you're not able to focus anymore, and you let each other pull each other away. Because right now, the focus right now is like, what do we need to do to focus on what we have to do in life? And there is like a story, like even for me, I do work, I do it very fast pace. Even my sisters around me see like, oh, why do I do everything so quick and so fast? And in my mind, it's because I'm always thinking about this, I'm thinking about that, multitasking basically from one thing to the next thing. And I just keep on doing that continuously. Like, let's say I open one website and I haven't finished reading it. I open another tab, and I keep on doing another tabs, and then once in a while I go back to the first one, and then I read it, and then another tab. And it's because I want to research. I want to research more because of that topic that I was reading. So it kind of is like an effect. And I really don't really focus on one thing and focus what I need to do. So everything that I do is not, my heart, it gets like pulled away. And you forget that you live in that moment. And there are times, there's one sister came and talked to me and told me, "Oh, sister, I, I I can't do it quick like you, and I can't multitask like you. Every time I do it to you, I feel like you do it so fast." And then when I hear like that, and I kind of react, I say, "Oh, if I do it quick, then I can finish my task. Why you can't say that? If I do it fast, then of course there's more other things that I can contribute to, because I feel there's a lot of work to do, so we have to do it quick." And that is what my reaction was when I heard she was saying that. But afterwards, I kind of reflected on that. But during that time, I reacted that way. But later on, I reflected on that. And I was thinking, I was like, yes, if I do it quick, for what though? If it's too quick, then do I get tired? And I think about that, and I learn from it that if I go quick, then I go by myself. Nobody can go with me. And I'm a person that I like to go and have joy and have fun, but I don't like to do it by myself. So I want to go with a lot of people. So when I choose about it, I say, do I want to go by myself, or I want to go with many people? And now I say I need to go with many people to make it more fun. So if I do it by myself, yes, I will accomplish it quicker. I will do something, and I will have, I will be successful. But do I have joy with that? So when I think about it, oh, I do get tired. And I don't feel like there's not enough space in myself to be present with my sisters and um, and then it kind of like take away my freshness. There are times like I cannot even smile because I'm too tired. And there are times, I don't know, do you have that time, that moment when you're really tired? You would try so much, and you have a lot on your shoulders, and you keep on tensing up. Is that correct? And when you come, and with other siblings or other people, when I go in there with them and do it as a community, I feel more at ease. And I feel that I can even listen to myself more, even though I know that my siblings or my sisters and brothers are there, and that requires me to slow down my pace. And for me, I was able to slow down, and it kind of actually gave me a different perspective that is a more freshness. I feel more happier. And I see that I'm able to understand more of my sisters and brothers more. And then when we have a meeting, sometimes you bring up any kind of things that you have to talk and dissect what's going on. You have to go slowly so you can understand what's going on that we are have meeting about, so we can get the best results out there, what kind of decisions that we make. So there are times like that you have to slow down. It's worth it. It's worth to slow down to give each other that presence, and that's something that I really value. And in reality of life, the fast pace of everything, I realize that the communication or the connection is in a level that do we actually see that we are communicating or connecting with my family? Are you really sure you're connecting with your family, with your loved ones? Is it, or is it complete with your kids, with your parents? Do you have the ability to talk to each other and ask each other, how are you feeling that day? Do you have that time, the moment? So those are things that I feel that in the society right now we try but it's so hard in this whole world too. They say young people right now be in that moment that they fall into worry. The young people are very despair and depression. They cannot sleep. They fall in that part of very despair, like very depression. And it comes to a why, you have to arise a lot of questions within those people. They don't know how to answer for them. And to summarize it, there is because we have something inside of ourselves that do you have that space in self that you can come back and be there? Because even like a technology, after a while, that battery will run out. So it's ourself too. If we don't have that, we will lose our energy. So we do have to have a space to come back to ourselves. And we come back to what? We come back to our mind, to our body, our hearts, to reflect, to see within the 24 hours that we have, what have we done? Have we consumed anything that is help us, that's beneficial to our mind, body, and soul? Or is it something that is very polluted to us? Is it nourishing us? Is it really nourishing our body, our mind, and soul? Then we need to reflect on that and we have to dissect and we can do this together. And at the temple here, the monastery here, the brothers and sisters, we do have something that we like to do together is to drink tea. And the joy of drinking tea is something that I never really in touch before. I was, let's see what I'm saying. I don't want to say it too bluntly, but when I came into the Sangha, I had some conflicts, but now I feel like, oh, all of a sudden now I get used to drinking tea. So in the evening, every time I pour myself a glass of tea, a cup of tea, and what is the joy that brings the tea to me, and what kind of joy that brings to you when you drink tea is what? Who in here drinks tea? Wow. Yeah, we are all weird friends. Then I don't know what my sharing of drinking tea is like you guys, but when I put the tea in the tea, and you actually take a hot water and then you kind of wash it a little bit and then you pour it out, and then you put the hot water again so that the tea can steep in there for like 2 minutes, because the tea they have to sit meditate too. The leaves have to sit there and meditate, and they can calm down, and then you can pour it into the tea, into a cup, and then when you drink it. And I don't know how do you guys have enough time to really enjoy one whole cup of tea. But when you hold this cup of tea, you say, oh, okay, I will be able to drink this tea that very fragrant, very nourishing. The right hand, but also the phone rings, and then all these messages on your phone and the emails. Amazon is sending you the packages, or you need to order this. Timu is on there reminding you, oh, you haven't finished your order yet. And there's many other things, messages on your right hand because that's your phone. And this part is very difficult to release. One is the cup of tea, and the other hand is with your phone. And are you mindful or not? This is where the important part is. What do you choose? And there are people that you don't have that enough. they say, okay, no, I'm going to look at these messages before I drink this tea. And say, oh, this one needs to reply. To reply this, oh, this is almost, this is the last day on sale. I have to pay for it right now. I have to buy it right now. So and then all of a sudden, the tea over here goes down, and then the phone actually controls you, and you forget your life right there, and you don't know that. And you kind of lose your present moment, just that one moment. And how many people in here have been in that situation? Oh, wow. Then you haven't lived yet. So I want to invite you to drink some tea. Or if anybody has water, go ahead and get your cup of water or tea. Right now, it's like the tea is. It's like if you don't be in the present moment, then you will lose that life, that moment. So right now, just drinking tea is like sleeping meditation or laying meditation. If you're able to have that mindfulness, then you can just drink it. Like just even drinking filtered water, you can drink it and you can taste the sweetness of it. If a little bit tea, it makes it more fragrant. It makes soothe your throat. So this is just something that can happen if you're able to be in the present moment, fully in the present moment, or you really in the present moment with your cup of water or cup of tea, or whatever that is happening around you in that moment. And there is a saying that I like when I went to a retreat with the brothers and sisters. One brother said, "Oh, suffering is an option for you." Yeah, and that kind of surprised me. And I said, "Oh, really? I always chose the suffering option, not the happiness option. Why don't I choose the happiness side? I get to choose." But why did I keep on choosing that? So I do want to repeat it and offer this to you. So anything you do, you have two options or so. Like when you go in shopping, you always choose the best quality, right? So with those things, do you want something? Do you want suffering or you want happiness? What you want to choose? So whatever you consume, so you need to know what kind of things that or you can consume to nourish you. What kind of food that you eat, or what kind of video that when you see that video, it makes you feel like only 15 minutes. Have you ever seen a movie or a video for 15 minutes? Oh, okay, let's say 30 minutes. A little clips or 30 minutes. Give us 30 minutes. And then we say, okay, 30 minutes, that's it. That's it. If you forget, you set an alarm for 30 minutes and so that you can, because if not, one page leads to another page, another tab to another tabs. So you have to remind yourself and put an alarm. But in life, it's like that. There are a lot of things that pull us away. Like in the present moment, you have to come back to yourself. You have to return to what is that moment needs. So when you return is what? It's like a saying. A saying is what? But it's something that you have to do. You cannot just write it on the page that, oh, I'm a returner, I'm coming home. But you really have to do it. You have to come out and do that. You leave your electronics back, and then you get in touch with nature. And then when you see that, if you're able to get in touch with that, then that's the main. Because sometimes the brothers and sisters here, wherever that you go to any temples, you can see at the monastery why there's a bell. The bell here is what? It's actually like a friend of the brothers and sisters. It symbolizes something that to invite you to come back to yourself, come back to the present moment once you hear the sound of the bell. Even though it's a small little bell or a big bell, around the temples, around the monasteries, you can see there's always bells. And those are something that is to remind us isn't something to invite all of us to come us when we come here to come back to ourselves, to be silent. And the first three sound of the bells, or just like previously that we just heard, we just come back and just breathe. When you listen to the bell, you don't need to do anything. You just only breathe. And there are times when you even breathe like that, you're able to release many things. And that energy in the habit of yourself in there gets released. So you let your shoulders kind of relax when you breathe in. So you're able to see that energy that, there are times that that is not released yet, but after listening to the bell, sound of the bell, you kind of feel a little bit at ease. And on the road of coming back to ourselves, there are times that it's difficult. There are times it's very difficult. It's not that easy because sometimes when you come back, you have to come back to the things that arises in you because of a feeling or a loneliness that's inside of you. It's there, but you're never ever able to face it. So sometimes when you come back to it, you're able to realize it and call it by its true name. All that worriness, that loneliness, or any kind of agitation within itself or self because of something happened. Before, when I think about, it's okay, I know these kind of feelings, but I'm just going to leave like that. And over time, it will release itself. That's what I thought about that. All kind of things that happen, it will mend itself. But no, you know what? Right now, nowadays, time won't really let you do that. You have to practice. You have to go deeper in. You have to, so you can really take care of that within self. So we can, step to a different chapter. Because if not, all those suffering, all that anger, it will all stay within yourself if you cannot release it. Before there's a sister, every time when she's suffering, she always like remember there's any kind of like she likes to hear some songs, the song about suffering. When she hears about those songs, it actually really resonates in her, and it resonates what's going on with her suffering. So once she hears about that, she still suffers. So she goes up and she goes to the fridge. She goes to the fridge, she opens it, and she eats. And then when she eats, oh, is that better? No, but the suffering's still there. The anger is still there. So because we keep on continue to go and keep that anger, even by the song, we'll try to think that if you hear all these songs of suffering, it will let you feel better, and then you replace it with something else, like by eating or something else, or you change a different CD or different songs. Before, like there's some houses that had the CDs, and Tay would say once when you're like release CD like that, if you don't like it, then you change a different record player. If you don't like it, you stop it, you change it to a different album. So that is what you're standing up, coming in, you take it off, you turn it off, and you leave the space. That is another option of of changing the record player. You can do a different CD player, 7, or maybe you can use the songs of Plum Village. And there are meditative songs of Plum Village that's healing. If you don't know, you can try it. Listen to those songs. It's very healing. So when we see any kind of like anger that is arising you, is within ourselves, then the first thing you need to do is we come back to ourselves, come back to our breathing. And if that breathing that you're not able to come back to the present, then come back to the present moment. If you cannot come back to your breathing, then you breathe in very deep, and you will be in the present, and you realize that I'm still having this anger. This anger is from where? Why is making my heart pacing? Why is it makes my head, my face flush? I feel agitated. So that's the first thing to do is recognize that, be aware of that. So that is the first thing, if you can step into that first part of it. Because there's a word they say, quote the is suffering. And being and knowing, realizing suffering, that's first two step already. So that's what they say. They say with all that transformation. So there's like four parts of it. The first part is like realizing that you have suffering and know that you can change it. Once you're able to realize that, then you know that you have anger, then what are you going to do? Then you really breathe in deeply so you won't, accidentally say things that are not great or not sweet around you that cause them to suffer too. And if you're able to do that, then your mind, your body is a little bit happier. You're able to release. And once you're happy, then you know that you have attained something already. And when you can attain that path, you're very happy. So before, when I heard about that, it's very, some about Buddhist principle. I thought it was something very far-fetched. That is nothing that is related to me. When I grew up, I went to the Buddhist temple. And I feel like that's something like very only for the brothers and sisters can practice as a monk or nun, and not for me. But as the more I practice about it, I feel each part of it, each action, it does relate to it. It does relate to those four concepts about that. What is suffering? The cause of suffering, how to release the suffering, and accepting it. So you don't need to wait until tomorrow or the next day. You can do it in the present right now. Because the more you wait about it, then you will have more other feelings, more other things that arise that you have to take care of. And there are times you can't do that. You can't take care of it. So the Sangha, we all can practice. You can practice these four noble truths. Because anything that comes up with that is inside your mouth, yourself, then you have to realize it, be aware of it, and look deeply. Look deeply. There are times when we are at fault. It's not because of them too. It's not the other person's at fault. It's also your fault too at times. So you're able to understand them, and if you're able to understand them, then you can love them more. And then once you can, even if you can able to love them, then you can reconcile with each other. So that's the first thing. You have to reconcile within yourself first. That's the first thing if you want to continue. If you want to begin anew with another person, to amend with that person, you have to amend within yourself first. So you have to return. So the next thing that you return to, that I want to remind, is to come back to yourself, to make anew with those people around you, with your life. When you come back, you go home and you try it. Are you actually present with your whole family? Or every time you're with your parents call you to come in, you will always have a reason. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, this month I'm busy. I cannot come home. Or that week I was busy. And you have like excuses or things like that. And each day becomes months, becomes years, and you're not able to come back home to your parents. And sometimes it's just only one day of like to a meal, but you're not present because the technology pulls you. And then once you could be with your parents, you can say, "Oh, my parents are pretty, getting older. They have wrinkles now in their eyes. They have wrinkles." And like for me, when I just spoke to my sister recently, and it's like, oh, mom has like all this whole life. It's like she kind of lost all her youth because she was taking care of three of us. So she takes care of everything from little things for all of us so that we can be here until till the end of her life. She still not only takes care of her kids, but now she takes care of her grandkids. So when my sister and I talked about that, I thought about, oh, something, let's now we will come back. We should come back and live with our parents close by, maybe a monastery that is closer to our mom and dad, and then we can actually repay her back. With my dad passed away a long time ago, so I still only have my mom. So now it's like my mom whatever that mom can bring home, that her joy, her happiness till the end of her life is something that we should do with her, with the joy that she has with her grandkids. So we need to do that. We need to have that opportunity, to give that opportunity so we can come together, go on this path together. And the time is limited. Like nearly, and just recently I see there's a lot of things like news out there, of the flood, of earthquakes all around the world. And COVID-19, of course, have a lot of suffering from that. We lost a lot of people, a lot of regrets and resentment. So now you see that the impermanence of life, of time, what it brings out. Even though right now we have it, tomorrow we might lose it. So now you have to come back to yourself and to think, oh, where my loved ones are. How are they today? Are they really stable right now? Or every night we just we worry about this other person, that person, but the person like our loved ones, we don't even worry about them. And so now, we tend to go outside, like our friends or so, but the closest person to us is our family members, our mom or dad or husband or wife or kids. So we need to, end the connection towards our family, even though they're close to us, they are pretty far. But you think about it, you have to live in a life where you have to make that opportunity so that you can come back, so you can go back to the first home. The first home is your family. And if you're warm inside, then outside is at peace. And we don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait too long. Our parents cannot wait for us too long, too. And I'm very happy that the couple of months that I've been here at the monastery, and till now, today, it's like 2.5 years since I've been here, and I'm very happy. It's one of the happiness that is the greatest happiness that I have here, is because I got accepted, you can say, of the nature here, of Mother Earth here. Is the earth around here. It's like your best friends, like one of my best friends. Like when I have any trouble, something, I just take my backpack and I go up to the mountains. And I go up to the mountains. Every day that I feel that anybody comes back over to my, my room and say, hey, you want to go to the mountains? Yeah, I leave everything and I just go because I really love the mountains. That's why now. But these couple of days I haven't been up to the mountains. But I really love to go to the mountains. Because when I'm able to be in touch with nature, I feel, there's nothing to really need or suffer anymore. Sometimes I kid around with my sisters. I say, oh, there are times I just want to release everything and I just want to live, But once I go up to the mountains and sit and be with my sisters, and I say, oh, why is there something that I need to worry about or I need to be so busy about? I need to just let it go. So when I sit around with my sisters and drink tea and up in the mountains, those are the experience, those are the memories that really I hold true to myself, that I really nourish. And this is something that I need to bring and I will bring with me. So when I go to the mountains, of course, there's no signal up there. So those moments, you really focus on the time and you really deattach yourself, deassociate yourself with the phones so that you can come back to yourself because there's no reception anyway. So now, like whenever any monastics or anybody that come to the monastery, maybe this is something that you can say once you come in here, you say, okay, I promise once I get to the gate of the monastery here, like the gate down here, there's a bump right there. It kind of like a bump. Okay, we kind of remind us, okay, turn off the phone. Let's switch it to silent mode. And this is something that you can practice with one day without any phones and see what it feels. How do you feel about it? How amazing would you feel about that? Or you can say, oh, or maybe now after the Dharma talk, once you get out to the, because sometimes when we go out to a habit, we go out to the monastery, to the Dharma hall, you take your phone out to, to check your messages or so. That's like a habit. So sometimes you put your shoes on and then you take out your phone. But now I encourage you to stop. Don't go straight to your phone. Look at the nature, look at the mountains, and take a deep breath in and continue on. That is a success right there if you can practice it. And just to be able to disassociate yourself with technology, you won't die because of it. But it does bring something that is really deep within yourself to really live deeply. And you can see that, oh, I'm still breathing. And that is something that is very miraculously that you are wonderful. That's very wonderful. And your wife is still right next to me. My husband is still next to me. My kids are still here. They're very beautiful. They're laughing. That is something that's wonderful. And sometimes we forget about those things. We forget it's because of the messages or the text messages. It pulls us away so quickly for us to realize what we have at hand. I'm very happy to be able to sit here, and I don't know what to share much, but just to invite you to practice this. Like what I say, what we have been doing is to come back to ourselves and to see where we are, how we are consuming things, what are we bringing to our body. There are things that we consume that are very nourishing, that is great beneficial to you. There are things that you should limit. Limit what you can consume so that you can be in the present moment more and be in touch, because we're basically probably superficial of all the news, all the taxes, all the things, technology that pulls you, or the phone. Good news, bad news, that makes you worried. It's the end of the month. Today is the 31st of August, and if you haven't seen the moon of it, is I think around here. I don't know where, but and I say like 2 months. I mean 2 years. I feel like the end of like the moon for August is very beautiful. So this evening, when you can watch some moon. That is something that you can gift yourself 1 whole month, and you get to see the moon. That's so beautiful. All the whole months that you're worried about, you don't have the time to do this. So now today, save some time for yourself. Save yourself some time, a little bit. If you have a tea, that's great. That's even wonderful. But if you don't have a cup of tea, that's fine as well. But I am very happy to be here, and I'm very grateful. I'm always grateful to my parents. They have given me this body and my sisters this body so I can sit here. And thank you, Tay. Seung was Tay, our teacher. He's the one that opened the path, that showed me how to love and how to understand. And thank you each time. And I want to thank you, all my friends that are here today, that are practicing with me, to walk with me on this path that's beautiful. And in that my friends are my brothers and sisters, my older brothers and sisters, and here in Clarity Hamlet. And I get to live with them, with my sisters, even though, we are different generations. But the love of it is that even each generation, we overcome it so that we can live in harmony with each other, so we can practice together. And that is something that I feel that I'm grateful for. And this is something that I really revered when I sit, meditate, or when I do anything in the retreat, so that we practice together. And not only that, with all of you too here, you're here, you're practicing with me, coming with me on this path. And the last thing I want to remind you and to make sure you come back to yourself, you don't need to wait. Don't wait, because if you wait, it's too late. So if you can do it, you can do it right now, then you need to do it now. Because you don't know tomorrow. You don't have the opportunity. Because that person, if you don't have that chance to talk to your parents right now, please tell them. If there's somebody that can't apologize to them yet, please try to do. Even your best friend right next to you, your family members, then you need to do it. Don't wait too late. And there's a poet that says, Trần Công Sơn is a poet. And if you have one more day to live, she's trying to remember the lyrics. So each day, if you find one happiness, she's trying to sing. So one day, if you choose to sit still, you look at your life and you think about yourself, and you think what? And you realize, because I've tried to sing, but I can't, okay? But just listen to it. I can't translate and sing together. There. Just nod your head and she knows. But the song is to remind herself to be in it. So see, they all know. They support me back there. They know the song. I'm very touched. Yeah, crying is something that I wasn't thinking I was gonna do today. But there are times, there are things that you plan, but it doesn't go towards to your planning. And there's one thing that I think that is beautiful, is your past and your future is actually composed of in the present moment. If you're really in the present moment, then you can do everything else. You don't need to wait anymore or worry anymore. So you just wait, you come back to the present moment, wait, and you come back to your present self. And if you can say something to what you bring home that you can utilize in your daily life, is your breathing and your smile. That's something you can bring. And all the brothers and sisters here, that's all they do here. They don't do anything else much. Just to breathe and smile. That's all you see, right? Is that correct, right? Oh, you can do it, right? See, you guys always can do it. Like, see, you can do it. Like when I see you guys smiling and breathing, your beautiful smiles, very beautiful. And I think that you should do that. You should give yourself that smile. And sometimes when you're suffering, it's so hard for you to smile. But even though so, you try to smile, and that smile kind of like, take away the flames. It kind of it makes it, and you cannot go this to Costco or Walmart to buy that, right? And it's within yourself. You have it within yourself. And if you can realize that, and that is a pureness, that's the taste that you can taste, the happiness. Those are the two things that, if you want to ask me, what do you want to bring home to practice? That's why I say just breathe in and your smile. If anybody wants more, like reading, then I can refer you to books. Freedom, wherever you are. Freedom, wherever. That's a book that I do recommend if you want to read it. And the sound the bell. If you can also put a mindfulness bell on your phone, like a bell. So it's okay. You can stop and listen. Of course, I know that there's work that you need to do, but if you can stop and take a pause, it's okay, as long as you don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself in that present moment. You don't lose yourself in anything that around you that pulls you away. So those are things I want to offer to you, to share with you this morning. And I hope you and I wish you to practice this successfully. And if you can just, promise yourself to come back to yourself like that, then I bet you that you can do it. And next week you can come and tell me, okay? So right now you go in and breathe. And I do see some of you here, your face is familiar and your smile is always there. And it makes me, that it's very beneficial to you guys and to me too, and beneficial to anything that you have in your life, because you kept that smile within yourself. And I really thank you, the Sangha with me, present for me today. And I invite you to, one more time, come back to yourself, come back to each other, and breathe, and release yourself, release your stress, release your shoulders, and relax, and let all the despair, let all the worriness, we let it all go. And you breathe very happily, smile at ease.